boy Fat Man. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Not Holding Back series. I'm going to take off these glasses because the glare from both of these lights get in the way. So, you probably already heard, and I'm going to make myself very clear on this before I get into anything. Jonah Hill is not the monster that his ex makes him out to be. I honestly have seen every single one of these text messages, all the stuff happening, and I gotta admit, she's a really fucked up person. She is the actual manipulator, the true monster, and just a femcel if I've ever seen one in my entire life. She is a brat. And the fact that, number one, Jonah Hill has moved on. He has a child with a new woman. He has moved on completely. And he's moved on, and he moved on last year. Took 6 months to move on, but it took 6 months for him to get back in the groove of things because he was with somebody. He was connected to someone. And the post that she let out, the first post, it really targets a couple of her insecurities and her problems and stuff that they probably already talked about. A lot of people will agree to disagree with me, but personally, that's your own problem. Abba and Preach here, we'll talk about it, and then we'll move into other videos talking about this. So I'll make 3 videos about this because other people are talking about this, and Abba and Preach are the first ones I'm going to start with because they do nail a lot of things. They do nail a lot of things to the surface. Like, they just make it point and clear and call it a day. Me too, but when Not Holding Back series is on, I kind of want to get the fucking point across because sometimes shit just drags. So if you're fucking with me, let's go.
I really hate the fact that this is even a public story.
Hey,
Let's start there. Why are you airing this shit out to the whole world on social media? This is the thing I hate about this generation.
who cares? She left.
Yeah, you know what's funny though?
What?
He has a fiance. She just gave birth. This comes out right afterwards.
What the?
Jonah Hill is getting canceled right now by his ex-girlfriend for allegedly being misogynistic and narcissistic. She took the following private conversation via text messages to her Instagram.
Note that these were private conversations. Note, this is the same thing we talked about with the whole Keke. I didn't talk about the whole Keke Palmer thing, but I kind of want to make my example short. And I've talked to a couple of people around me, and someone that agreed and said, honestly, I talked to a woman about this, and the woman said Keke Palmer wasn't doing anything wrong until she seen the dress, and then she said, oh no, her ass cheeks was out. That girl was stupid. If you're respectful in your relationship, and even if you're in Vegas with your girls, you could look beautiful, but don't have your ass cheeks sticking out, especially when you dancing around Usher. So a friend of mine's like, no. And a couple of people may agree to disagree, but Keke Palmer was in the wrong. And most women will just be like, well, she didn't respect her relationship with her boyfriend. And I agree. I agree to an extent. I don't think he should have opened his mouth and publicly said anything either, even though the video was public, so he was reacting as things was happening and he said something. But this is the same situation. When private shit is talked in private and it comes out to the world, it's the most dramatized type of shit I've ever seen. Because what people want is to be validated in their feelings, which I can understand that. But for you to be validated in your feelings, somebody has to be demonized. Somebody has to be made a monster. Somebody has to be looked at and called the bad guy, no matter what you say. That's how the game goes.
Instagram story last night with Jonah Hill says, speaking out is so important though.
Basically, she's a surfer, and
He dropped in the DM. Is that what it had?
they were in a relationship. They were dating.
Yeah.
Okay,
was.
and he was uncomfortable with the fact that she had pictures of her in bathing suits surfing. He was uncomfortable that she was with other men. She now comes out saying, "Yeah, this is all manipulation, whatever." You get what I'm saying? Narcissist, all the other buzzwords.
Yeah.
Also, I'll put the text on screen so you.
So this is the text that has come out. This text is nothing crazy to harp over, but for us to understand this text, let's get it read to us so we can break down just this text by itself, if you don't mind.
And then this is the post where I guess she's really feeling like it was gloves off. She felt like this was like the big expose. And it's a text message from Jonah where he says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures.
Now, let's bring it back a little bit.
Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships.
See, surfing with men boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men to model. So what he's saying is inappropriate friendships. That means she has friends that are surfers, but they're touchy feely, all around hippy dippy type of shit, and they might have no boundaries. And that means if they have no boundaries and you have no boundaries, this is something you don't just say unless you have seen in action yourself. These are words you don't just bring up. Inappropriate friendships. What has he seen as inappropriate? What's inappropriate to him? That's not inappropriate to me and you, depending on what she's done. He wouldn't just be saying shit like this. Let's continue.
To model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past.
See, that's friendships with women who are in unstable places. Don't get me wrong, I respect that. Because if you have friends who are the most unstable, they can't hold down a fucking job for less than a year, their fucking finances are always tripping, they're always smoking, always drinking, always going out, picking the wrong times to do shit, their lives are so unbalanced, they can't even balance work and balance the things that they're trying to do with you, and then they're fucking up. So unstable could be any type of druggy motherfucker, any type of shit. Like, come on. This and look, the unstable places. Personally. And from your wild recent past. He said this from your wild recent past. This motherfucker didn't just say that for nothing. That means she's told him shit from her past that she's done from her wild recent past. Beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. That means she's done some shit that's been disrespectful, inappropriate, and not respectful to the relationship. Come on, guys.
Beyond getting a lunch, a coffee, or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. And
these actions have hurt our trust. And he goes to says, listen, these are my boundaries. If these things make you happy, fine, go about your fucking life. Leave me the fuck alone. But if you want to keep doing the shit you're fucking doing, go right the fuck ahead. I have no quarry with that. But in reality, and where we sit in this world, she hated everything he said here. But everything he said here pinpoints to having conversations. Now, the swimsuits and what she wears and who she works with, that's different. As a surfer, and she works with other people and teaches them surfing, she can wear almost anything. She can wear a wetsuit if she wants, but she wears a bikini and a top and all other stuff. But other people who surf that are guys or other girls, and he says from your wild recent past, that means she's told him some stuff. She has secrets. And she's throwing this out there like, oh, well, he's the bad guy. No, honey boo boo, lemon drop, sugar plum, dump, bling. You're the problem. He let you go. He told you what his boundaries was. Respectfully. Now, a lot of people are just like, oh, men are pussies nowadays. Yeah, but then women want men to open up some. Don't be that guy sitting in a corner and smoking a blunt for no fucking reason and looking at the crowd and not having fun. When you realize you're miserable smoking a cigarette or blunt in general, whatever the fuck you filled it with, you're going to realize your life is miserable as shit. Sometimes you're going to open up to someone. You open up to your friends, closest ones to you, or you open up to your woman. Some people say you never open up to a woman. Yeah, because they might turn around and use that shit against you. But you, being a smart fucking person, need to know what to analyze situations of. Jonah Hill set his boundaries. He set what he doesn't like and what he doesn't like and what he wants her to respect from their relationship. Plus, she has had to tell him something about herself for him to even go through this checklist of shit. Besides getting lunches with friends and coffee, doing anything that's bad, she's got some history. Her friends have some history. And she's done some inappropriate shit with her clients. You cannot sit there and say, oh, she hasn't. We don't know this individual, but Jonah Hill fucking does. He didn't just write this because, oh, well, fuck no.
but obviously this relationship is not going to work out. She then shares more text from him where he says, "You're right, we can't do surf social things or develop trust until you consider me and make decisions that give regard to our relationship. I have been vulnerable as possible and I'm telling you I'm needing you to step up to the plate, which you can, I'm sure of it, but these losers don't get your time if you want me. Straight up, it's consideration. I respect your love of surfing, but I respect myself as well, and your love of surfing and being in those situations and lack of awareness are not mutually exclusive."
Not mutually exclusive makes so much sense. So he's saying the situations that she puts herself in and her ability not to be aware of said situations are causing more problems than good.
This isn't me. I have my own issues that I own.
Okay, back to this. So this one stops me. Nor may I ever want that from my partner, and I reserve that right, and I'm open about it. Let me know. Will respect you either way, but those are my boundaries of this romantic relationship. Thanks. I love to know before the promise, so I'm not put in the position of publicly flaundering our love if my boundaries are going to continue to be disrespected. That would be hurtful and triggering for me. She says, understood. Now, this is something I have to be honest here. Jonah Hill has a movie coming out about therapy and how therapy has helped him. Listen, a lot of black people, white people, a lot of people with mental structures don't really care about therapy. In black community, they don't believe in therapy. It's one of these things. But white people glorify it. A lot of people glorify it. A lot of people glorify therapy. And I don't mean glorify as in like it's more like hyperlized. Like nowadays therapy is that buzzword. And there's these pseudo therapists out there who can kind of help. And personally, that's just not my thing. I don't care. I've been to therapy as a kid and it didn't really do nothing. I don't know what the fuck they were supposed to find. It just is what it is. Now I'm just an adult and I'm kind of tweaking on my own circumstances. But even though I'm living my life, I realize therapy for me is just loving the things and enjoying my life. Well, his therapy is different, emotional, traumatic. He's been in the business since he was the fat, chubby dude, and now he's skinny. He's got a wife, he's got a kid. This man is on his own personal grind and mission to live his life to be happy. Now, the fact that this relationship became public is very daunting. We're going to continue, but I'm letting y'all know here. If you want to reach out for therapy, go through like 6 or 7 therapists and be aware. Be on 10 toes.
To do a play-by-play for like 10 different stories. If you want to read it that badly, you can read it there, but I'm not going to read through all the text. I'm giving you guys the gist of it because that's really what it is. This is from a therapist, okay? TikTok therapist.
Jonah Hill
Not a real therapist.
was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend, and it's important that we go
This is disgusting. I hate people like this because motherfuckers will open their mouths and say he's using therapy speak. He's not using therapy speak. Or even if he is, he talked to his therapist to ask him a question of how to handle this. And his therapist just gave him some advice and he went with it. That's probably it, even if it is so-called therapy speak of whatever this guy says. I think he's out here gaslighting Jonah, and she's out here gaslighting him. This is gaslighting to make someone seem like they're a monster, which to me is very disrespectful, very disingenuous, and you're a fucking bitch.
over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks control.
Problematic is such a stupid word. This is very problematic. What's problematic is you saying the word problematic and saying that this situation and this message right here is problematic. No, we just went through it. He listed his boundaries and he told his boundaries. He said it to her just so they can start this relationship, and he let her know off the jump. Remember, this girl also has mommy issues. She also has a lot of her own issues. And Jonah, who is seeking his own help, is doing the best he can. But what's disgusting is how people are analyzing this and they're using this against him to display some type of mental control. Like, oh, look, he's trying to control her. Get the fuck up out of here, you bitch.
Controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is...
How is it hard for her to challenge what he said? She can refute, listen, I'm a surfer, you know this is my job, you know what I do, I'll wear something different, but I surf with a lot of guys more than women. So what do you want me to do? Don't surf with any guys. That's she could rebuttal by that, but then he'll say, "Listen, I'm not saying don't surf with people. Wear something different, and please keep your relationships only on the beach and the waves. Don't have your relationship go into the DMs." We don't know the method and processes of these conversations. We don't know what led up to him and these boundaries. We don't fucking know. And what year is this? That is December 2nd, 2021. This is 2 years old. This is in December, by the way. December of 2021. Fuck out of here.
Basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you if you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures, and are friends with women.
You don't know what she was posting on her Instagram before that. And whatever he liked, people's like, oh, but he liked photos of her surfing in a bikini. I'm like, yeah, he liked said photos. Does not mean he wants her to behave in a manner that is disrespecting of their relationship. It just is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. When it says boundaryless, it means boundaries. If you have friends that cross a boundary and they're crossing boundaries in our relationship and you're crossing boundaries and you don't have any boundaries, the step up to the goal here, and it's just boundaryless. So personally, I don't want you to fuck around with those friends who are going to overstep. Personally, that's how I see it. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I'm the type of person that can understand where people come from with these type of reactions, these type of feelings, and how it is. Don't get me wrong. What I can also tell you from where I sit and where I stand as an individual, we don't make this more harder on ourselves than we make it more harder on other people. How it is to how it can be, that is the goal of having good relationships. Don't get me wrong. This is how he wrote it. We don't know her friendships. We don't know the people around her. We don't know nothing, but he does. He wrote this in a specific way to tell her, please stop the nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. We don't know the nonsense, but Jonah Hill's not going to come out in his new relationship in 2023 and say, yeah, I'm sorry. No.
Women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the.
He's using quotes to say there is no boundaries. He's feeling insecure. A lot of people have said he's insecure about it, which I don't think so. I feel like this man is gaslighting as well, just like his girl.
Concept. A boundary is a healthy limit a person sets for themselves to protect their well-being.
Yes, but you can set boundaries with other people. When people cross those boundaries, you're like, yo, no. I set the boundary. I set what you can do. I set this for myself to back you the fuck up. I need you to know I don't like this. Regardless, I have my own boundaries. People touching me, right? If I don't know you, don't touch me. If I know you, cool, I respect you. But if you hit me, push me, any type of aggressiveness, I'm going to give you that same energy back. That just is what it is. And I'll tell people, you shouldn't have put your hands on me. You made this worse on yourself. Even if you're playing and you're just like nudging me, I'm like, it's nothing. But if you put your hands physically on me, it's over. I'm like, yo, look, you overstepped. You overstepped completely. I don't know you. I definitely don't fuck with you. You put your hands on me, it's gonna end badly for you. Period. That's one of my shits. It's just one of these moments, right? People say, oh, it's a trigger. It's how it is. People sometimes get too handsy. People fuck around and they find out eventually. Me, I just let them know, like, listen, don't tap me so hard. Like, I don't like that shit. That's just it. Because some people don't know their own strength. Some people get too friendly. Me, I'm like, I'm like this from far away. That's it.
Being and integrity. It is a rule or guideline that one creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for others to behave towards them and how they'll respond when someone passes those limits. However, in the message Jonah sent to Sarah, he is not setting boundaries that protect his emotional well-being. Instead, he is dictating what behaviors and friendships Sarah is permitted to have. He's essentially instructing Sarah on who she can be friends with, what she can do professionally, and how she can show up online.
I don't think so.
This is not an example.
I don't really think that's what he's saying. That's what you're interpreting from the situation. And you can interpret this in any shape or form you want, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying to her, please keep your relationships cordial. Keep your friendships that are volatile and toxic away from you and I in this relationship, because those volatile, toxic relationships don't do shit for you. The men that you work with them, but keep them out your DMs, keep them away from your phone 100%. Don't be calling and texting them motherfuckers. It just is what it is. So you can say I'm wrong for that, but it's a fact.
Example of healthy boundary setting. Instead, it reflects an attempt at control. It demonstrates a lack of respect for Sarah's autonomy and individuality.
A boundary doesn't just have to be about yourself. It can be about your relationship. It can be about your kids. It can be even about your property. It can be about different things. You guys are not calling a boundary. If you guys are seeing somebody, you're in a relationship, and you find out your partner is still having constant conversations with their ex about your current relationship, a lot of people gonna feel uncomfortable with that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know a couple of people that may be friends with their exes. I'm not friends with my ex, and I've talked about my ex briefly on this channel, how she had mental illness and how that mental illness affected me and all such and such, right? My ex was a great, amazing person. You know what I'm saying? She was at no points in time, but was she the fucking best person? Hell no. Was I the best person? Hell no. But will we still be friends to this day? Probably not. I honestly wouldn't be friends with her to this day. Maybe a part of me back then wanted to, but now since I moved forward, I said, nah, fuck it. She was a volatile individual, and that unstable energy was not because of how I felt. It was because of every situations we were in, and I can remember every situation like that, and it's annoying. It becomes a product of your mental state. Now, you have a conversation. If you're a person out there who's still friends with your ex, bravo to you. You won the war. You became cordial enough to have a conversation with that person. Now, is that person your friend? Can you go to that person and tell them anything and talk to them about anything? I don't think you should. I don't think you should do that. But at the end of it, you go out there of your own accord and you talk to that person and you have a convo with them, brother, that's on you 100%. Should you still be friends with your ex? If you're the best cordial person and the relationship ended respectfully on both sides and you moved on and so did she, and you guys still talk and there's no sexual tension at all and you're just friends, like that's the homie. But other people be like, oh, but you've been inside the homie. You know, hey man, I know, but we don't ever show up. I'm never in the same place as she is. We always texting, we always FaceTiming. I think of her as one of the friends. I don't tell her everything, but I tell her some things. Regardless, Jonah was doing that. He was talking to his recent ex, and he was telling her about stuff that was happening. He was being friendly. He was working up that courage. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't wish I had that same ability to end things smoothly with people. I've been told I'm just too blunt and honest to end things smoothly, especially when I just cut straight to the point and say, like, yo, you did something. Like, I remember I had to tell somebody, like, yo, they blocked me a long time ago for no fucking reason, and I was texting and talking to them, and they ended up blocking me. I was like, bro, what the fuck? And he was like, oh, when was that? And I was making so much money. Like, fucking stupid gooba bitch ass nigga. It just happens. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I automatically take things personal. And look, just like Michael Jordan, you take things personal. Relationships end. Sometimes a person's called your ex, they're your fucking ex for a reason. Merry Christmas.
And you say, I'm not down with that. That's a boundary. It's okay to say that. People talk about autonomy. And this is where like this feminist lingo goes a bit full retard. When you get in a relationship, guess what? There are certain things you just can't do anymore. What those things are will depend on how you negotiate that with your partner, right? But there's gonna be certain things you can't do no more.
It's true. There's certain things you can't. You can't flirt with random people anymore. You obviously fucking know that. You can't obviously put on something that's gonna make your partner think you're for the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's why people like, listen, a friend of mine may have said, a friend of mine was like, listen, I wear what I want. No one's gonna tell me what to do. No one's gonna tell me how to wear it. And if they don't like that, this is, I was wearing this when you met me. I agree to that statement, but then I disagree on the fact that you wouldn't respect the person even if you've been with them for 2-3 years, you wouldn't respect them and how they felt in the relationship and took them into consideration. You would say fuck them. That's not fair to that person. And for them to come to you and address this to you in a respectful, understanding manner, would you just move them aside? I wouldn't think that's fair. I would think that's ignorant, and you're being more selfish than you are being respectful and selfless in a relationship. And sometimes we all give shit up. It just is what it is. You're going to give something up. Shit happens. But that's how I see it. From where I sit, you're going to be respectful in your relationship. And some people are going to give shit up. You obviously can't do the same things you used to do. You're going to have to delete that Tinder profile, delete all those dating apps, delete those shits. Why? You don't need them no more. And stop trying to go out with your boys, and you're going to go out with your girls here and there, but you're going to realize sometimes the environments and the situations you put yourself in were because you were a single fuck, and now you got somebody. Regardless, you can't have like 3 wives, so calm that shit down.
So what was the list here? Surfing with men. Okay. So she's a surfer. He doesn't feel comfortable surfing men. On most cases, I would say, like, why is that a boundary? You would be setting. But I also don't know the context of the relationship. Has she slept with a bunch of these guys? Has she been sending flirty messages, really going back and forth in the past, right?
But see, Abba's laying it out. Why is he saying this? There's no reason to just say this. There has to be some talks. There has to be something he's seen. The fuck?
People flirt with a lot of the people that they work with or do stuff with. I don't know. I'm not saying that is what happened. What I'm saying is we don't know what the confines of the dynamic is like. Boundary-less inappropriate friendships with men. Why is he saying that? Maybe those men are sending messages that are completely inappropriate to somebody in a relationship. You should be able to have male friends, but if
we just said this. They're
sending messages to you like that to you, can you not understand why a partner might feel some type of way? Or maybe the opposite is true. Maybe she's had these friends since childhood. There's never been anything weird, and Jonah's just mad insecure. I don't know. But neither do any of you at home. Nobody knows. That's the reality.
Jonah's message is more about restricting Sarah's behavior to suit his comfort levels and insecurity.
I don't think it's restricting and his insecurities. I think he's letting her know what he sees and how it's displayed to the respect of their relationship, right? And number one, this is 2021, right? I don't know how long they've been going out. I don't know how long they've been fucking around. I don't know how long Jonah's been seeing her. We don't know when they met, how they met, right? And yeah, he liked some of her stuff on Instagram, and that's how he found her. But regardless of Instagram and the stuff he's liked, he's seen her in person. He's interacted with her. He's been with her physically. So 9 times out of 10, he's seen her interact with friends, family, interact with those she surfs with. He's paid attention. Because, number one, to be at the class he is as a celebrity, but then to be a man making so much money, to be with a woman working an awesome job and probably has stable life, he wants to push forward his life and realizes, bubkiss, this bitch is crazy. Or she's doing crazy shit that I should have been more aware of. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to everyone around him about said situation. Come on, bro. Like, let's open our minds here and not sit back and be like, oh, he's trying to constrict her. No. I think you're taking that and you're twisting it just because you see it one way and that's one dimensional. He's trying to open and pretend it's, oh, there's 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions here, but it's one dimensional because he's saying everything to make her seem like she is the victim in some twisted roller coaster of feelings. The fuck out of here.
Rather than expressing his feelings or needs in a healthy manner. A healthier and less manipulative approach might be for Jonah to express how Sarah's actions make him feel without using ultimatums about what she should or...
There is no ultimatums. He's letting her know how it feels. He's letting her know, listen, I need you to stop doing this shit. Because it's crazy. He didn't say, you stop doing this or it's over. No, he just told her straight up, like, stop this. Or, like, don't fuck with them. Please. Like, stop that. And he left a lot of room for her to ask questions.
Or should not do.
How do you know that conversation didn't happen? Apparently these people have been going to therapy. How do you know it just started with an ultimatum? How do you know this is born from insecurity, not from the fact that Sarah can be flagrantly inappropriate? I'm not saying it's not insecurity, but how do you know? How does anybody know? That's why I'm confused when this whole thing fucking unfolded, because I'm like, I don't know these people. Y'all don't know these people. So why is everybody being a TikTok detective like they've been sniffing Blue's Clues and got all the answers?
I think he did a pretty good job. My boundaries are this. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Isn't that what we wanted? People to express themselves? People to be able to just say what they want? Not keep that inside? Not bottle up? That's what he did. Now, Sarah has a choice to stay or to get. That's it.
Yeah, but they're probably going to say that ultimatums are manipulative or controlling.
Sure. And I don't think it's a bad thing. You know what? Yes, you're right. But it's not inherently bad. It's not inherently bad. Because at some point, if you keep fucking up, someone's going to get. And then it's okay.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I could be like, hey, you know what? If you keep doing this shit, I'ma leave.
That's an ultimatum.
And that's an ultimatum. And I think an ultimatum is valid. If you get in a relationship and then you keep your online account of Tinder or whatever open, that someone might give you an ultimatum to shut that shit down. And I think it's valid.
And then what you gonna do? Say no? Like, what the fuck you need Twitter? What the fuck you need Tinder for? The fuck you need Bumble for if you're in a relationship? Hinge, any of that shit. Backstage, pause. Any of that shit. What do you need any of that for? Like, you don't need any of that shit open, but regardless.
An ultimatum is valid.
Hey, listen, you don't lead with an ultimatum. You obviously have a conversation very civilly and say, like, why is this there? Let's have a conversation. But if they just keep, flagrantly disrespecting the nature of the relationship, then yeah, it's okay to say, no, that's going too far. Again, I'm not saying this guy is insecure or is not, or she is inappropriate.
I don't know.
So why does everyone else, hold up, maybe people are privy to shit I don't know about. So if that's the case, I need to see that shit. People are calling him an abuser. Okay. I'm going to say,
It sure changes.
be honest with y'all, this word getting used really liberally. Very.
An abuser means he's done something to very mentally and physically abuse her in any type of form. Verbal abuse as well, right? So there's 3 different types of abuse, or 4 maybe. There's physical, there's verbal, and there's maybe financial abuse. He could be financially abusing her. And then there's manipulating, some type of manipulative abuse, right? If not, then there's only verbal and physical. But he is an abuser in shape or form? No, she is. She is. And she's the narcissist. She is the most disrespectful person ever. The only abuser and the only person that's more selfish is Sarah. Sarah has been the most selfish, disrespectful monster in this entire situation. She's leaked these out. Not leaked. She threw these out to the internet and said, Jonah Hill's a bad person. Look, the fuck? And the fact that these are, number one, these are private text messages. I am my entire life have probably DM'd people back in the days. And if those people came out and talked about any of the shit we DM'd, I automatically would be like, okay, cool, these are private matters. How about you talk to me in person? The rest of the internet now is a sidebar. Everybody in this motherfucker is in his business, including YouTubers that shouldn't be. But his business is now open to the world. But this is why I like Jonah Hill, because he didn't speak about this. And he probably never will, because he has a family now. He's a respectable man, and he's going through his own shit. Dumb, stupid bitches like this girl are gonna be in her feelings, be upset, can't move on, and you're gonna throw... It's been 2 years. 2021, 2022, they broke up, and now 2023. So the fact that you did this, the fact that you came out and did this in general, you fucked up. You fucked up. And she's the monster in every shape or form. To have you leak private information, conversations between me and you, that's disrespectful. To make him look like he's the bad guy in this situation, no, you're fucking done. The internet should automatically look at this woman as the femcel she is. It's disrespectful, disingenuous, and you're trying to turn him into a bad guy because you don't like his language. Get the fuck over yourself.
Very liberally. And I'm starting to look at people being like, okay, when you say abuse, what do you mean? You have to now. There's a lot of people who just say, oh my God, he verbally abused me. Why? Because he was a shitty boyfriend? Who cares? Stop. Do I like what he was saying, that stuff? Me personally, I think it's corny. When somebody meets somebody in a profession and then tries to date them and make them change how they do everything. That's stupid to me. The girl has like hundreds of pictures of her surfing in regular, normal bathing suits. And now that she's with you, you want to have her change her whole wardrobe and her whole lifestyle.
As a matter of fact, that's probably how she got your eye. You was like, ooh, ooh. And then you saw her in them pictures and you was like, ooh, drop in the DMs. And then whenever you're in a relationship, you're like, you don't do that no more.
You're the one who's acting brand new. You know what I'm saying?
Like, she was acting like that before.
If I meet a partner, they know I dance, then they come in my life, they be like, I don't want you dancing with other women. I'll be like, you take a hike.
That's fine. I don't think he was telling her what to wear, but he was telling her to be careful of how she wears something and how it's perceived to other people. I think female surfers wear different types of clothes. They don't just wear bikinis and stuff like that. Maybe that's how she wants to wear something, half-ass naked. Fine. Most surfers I've seen, or maybe I'm probably wrong, used to wear like the whole wetsuits to surf. I'm probably wrong about that, not sure. But if that's back in the days, or maybe that's surfers training people, cool. Copy, say less. But sometimes I do believe he might have pressed her about this because of how it was received.
You're not going to tell me what I'm not going to do anymore, but something I loved my whole life. It's not like I'm out here grinding on women, grabbing ass or grabbing titties and doing things that's incredibly sexual. I'm not a hobbyist stripper. I'm not a hobbyist escort. I have a passion.
Even if you were.
True.
If you were before.
Yeah.
And I get in a relationship and you were before.
Yo.
What you got in that relationship knowing damn well what it was.
Hey, listen.
Like, I'm not saying that she's doing wrong or bad. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is, if you're getting in a relationship with someone that was a certain way before, you know us, man, we don't like whenever, like, a girl gonna come in a relationship and be like trying to change us. No, I'm gonna change him. We always talk about these women saying that shit, right? I'm gonna change him. I'm doing that, and we think that shit is corny. We think a woman going in a relationship trying to save a dude is corny. You met him like that. You're not gonna change nobody. You're not gonna change nobody. The person's gonna decide to change whenever the person's gonna decide to change.
Yeah. That is what it is. Some guys don't go in relationships trying to change somebody. They go in a relationship thinking that, wow, she's a beautiful, wonderful girl. I'm gonna slut her out. he's gonna fuck her up a little bit, like sexually. That's probably it. Most girls go into relationships like, I can change him. A lot of women do that. They go into relationships trying to change men. Not a lot, but a small minority of women do that. They go in thinking, I can change him, I can fix him, no, you can't. You can't change him, you can't fix him, it just is what it is. Get out of here.
We always say that. We always say that.
I know, I say that a lot.
And I agree with that.
Because women done that to me.
And I stay saying that.
Preach.
You're not going to change a man in the relationship. You're not that person.
I mean,
I'm gonna change. You're not. He's gonna change if he wants. He's going.
And this is I relate to this because my ex may have tried doing this. She was like, oh, you should go to college like me. You should try to do something like I'm doing. You need to go to college. You need to go to college. You need to go to college. You need to go to all that bullshit. First of all, if I didn't make the decision myself, personal self, but you're making the decision for me, how does that look? Looks bad. Looks bad that I can't make this decision for myself. You're making it on behalf of me, which kind of sucks. Personally, it kind of sucks because I can't make that decision in any shape or form without you trying to tell me, oh, you should do it like I am. Let me make the decision. Let me sit back, take a deep breath, and push to that goal. Let me think about it. Financially, how does this benefit me? Economically, how is that going to benefit me? And what type of degree am I going to get from doing YouTube so long and editing, photography? Maybe I'm going to go and do more photography degree or a film editing degree. Maybe. But at the same time, she kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I kept pushing back. Because it's not what I want to do. It's what you want me to do. And as a man, you can't tell a nigga what he is supposed to do. I don't peer pressure easy. I don't. I'm not. Peer pressure doesn't work on me. That's some pussy shit. You can't peer pressure me to do anything. You can't peer pressure me to smoke. Can't peer pressure me to drink. I'm not that nigga. I'm not. You can try it. You can try your hardest, but I'm not. Move that aside. I'm gonna move that aside because I'm stronger than that. I'm strong-willed than that. But other people, they'll just fold under the pressure. If you're true, if you're strong-willed like I am, you're just not gonna fold at all. And I've been in that situation where I've just been like, I don't want that, and you're not listening. And I would have to repeat myself time and time again. You're not listening, and you're not respecting me. And then I would have to leave me the fuck alone about it. It would be one of those. It would just be like, yo, back. And I would have to say it clearly like, yo, back off. Stop pushing yourself onto me. Stop pushing what you want me to do because you think I should do what you're doing. I'll work it out my own way. And on God, I'm going to do that. Just how I feel.
To change.
To be fair, I've seen some men change. But
Because they wanted... They
were whipped. I believe that. There's men out there that were... I think I was being whipped in my relationship at a time. But then sometimes I was pushing back as much as I could. Because you can't change me and tell me what to do and how to live my life and how to do things. Some people are gonna change just because, like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever, you know, I get it, I'll do it. But me, I was not like that. I was like, nah, I got it. Nah, I got it. I got it. I got it. You know, I got it. That was me the entire time. I got it. I got this. I got this. Leave me the fuck alone about it. So much bullshit.
Or they wanted to change. That's still a decision that they made.
It was upset.
You understand what I'm saying? Now.
Pussy.
No, I'm not saying that it's a good thing that you change, it's a bad thing that you change. I don't care. You're not going to change the motherfucker. We always clown women, and we always on the woman's back whenever they trying to change man.
True.
Flip side, that's what happened.
Yep.
Dude got arrested. Now you see that there's a possibility that also men do that thing, that behavior. That's why sometimes I don't believe in these women or these men. It's people. Because you can see these traits in all the people.
Yep.
Okay? So now you see this dude. I'm not going to hear and say that he's an abuser.
We going on tour. We coming to cities near you. We want to see you motherfuckers face to face.
Where you at?
We going to be doing shows all summer. Well, this summer we're doing 3 shows. We're doing Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Washington, D.C. But afterwards, we were going to England. We're going to be going all across America, Asia. So if you want to get tickets, make sure you guys go to the website. All right? Put your name so we can email you as soon as those tickets come out for your area. We won't bombard you with nothing else, okay? I promise.
Yeah.
We want to see you guys at the shows. We have meet and greets. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be laughing, so it's going to be a good time. But we want to see you guys.
I'm not going to go as far as that. I don't have enough evidence to say abuser. That's a bit far-fetched. That's a bit much. I don't know.
Hold up. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you ever think they would say a woman is a quote-unquote abuser when she's trying to change a man's clothes?
No.
Trying to change a man's lifestyle?
No.
Trying to change the way he does everything?
No.
Okay. I just want to appreciate this word has a heavy connotation for generally only being veered towards men.
Note, I bet he loved.
Like I said before, I don't think he was an abuser. Right now, she's the abuser. She's the aggressor. She is also the person that can't move on. And boo-boo, Sarah, you'll never see this, but honey, lemon drop, sugar plum, dumpling, move on. You should have let this go a long time ago. You should have just kept why did you keep the messages? Why did you keep the text logs? Why did you screenshot all of this? Why keep it? Why? Because you wanted to use this against him one day. You wanted to leak these out, throw these out there so people can see that he's a bad person. No, you're the bad person. You're the idiot. You sit on a throne of lies and you're trying to ruin someone just because you feel bad. He made me feel bad in my fifis. Move on, girl. Move on. Get a hold of yourself. You should have deleted those messages and actually move forward with your life. He did. Why didn't you? Because you couldn't take his honesty. You couldn't take his truth. You couldn't take the things that he said. And you couldn't reflect as an individual and look back at yourself and say, damn, maybe I fucked up. Maybe I should apologize. Scratch that. Maybe I should move forward and build myself back up. You didn't do the work. You never did the work. What you did was project, blame, and throw blame. Disgusting.
How hot Sarah looked in her posts before they got together. So this is a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, Jonah needs to consider Sarah's needs and feelings and not just focus on his own, which it seems like he's selfishly...
Even if he hasn't, and she leaves, that's that. And there's going to be someone that's going to be okay with the confound that relationship in that, but she wasn't, so she got. Who cares? She left.
Yeah, you know what's funny though?
What?
He has a fiance. She just gave birth. This comes out right afterwards.
What the fuck? Wait. So he has a brand new thing,
Fiance.
and this comes now,
They just gave birth.
and this comes now.
Bitter bitch.
Bitter than the most bitterest candy that's sinking to the bottom, touching the earth's core, bitch.
That's what it sound like. That's what it seemed. I don't know. I'm just saying what it seemed like. It seemed like she bitter.
Why are we talking about this?
Because she felt like she needed to speak her mind.
She didn't. And what hurts me is a lot of people are like, yes, she had to open up because he was using psychiatry. Shut the fuck up. You sit there and you just say all this shit, but shut the fuck up. Like I said, Sarah should have never opened these messages and screenshotted them and sent them out to the world. You should have respected yourself, respected your old relationship, and moved forward. And you should have respected the fact that the relationship ended. But you didn't want to respect yourself, respect him, respect what he has now. You want to be a disrespectful, selfish bitch. Disrespectful and selfish to your entire core. Then you want to throw it out to the rest of the internet so people can cast judgment? Some people are casting judgment. Other people are like, nah, he did what he did for himself. You didn't like it. You should have left. You left. Did you leave? Did you leave after he threw this at you? Did you leave, girl? Did you get out? Did you get up and say, no, I'm sorry, no? Disrespectful.
No, that's sus.
That's mad sus.
That's sus.
Hey, that's a... Hey,
Now? Wait.
She claims she waited till after the pregnancy because she didn't want to put stress on the mother while she was having...
No, that's sus.
That's a lie.
I really hate the fact that this is even a public story.
Hey.
Let's start there. Okay? You had a boyfriend, he wasn't that great. Why are you airing this shit out to the whole world on social media? This is the thing I hate about...
This is the same thing I said in the beginning. This was a private conversation, private info, private shit, and you made it public because you are a bitter, fucked up individual. You couldn't let go because he made you feel a certain way. And don't get me wrong. There could be a right and a wrong here. She's in the wrong completely. Was Jonah right in saying whatever he said? Yeah, because he made his self known to her. Like, hey, and they've had to have conversations about this type of shit. And the fact that she stood there, she let this happen, she understood where he was coming from, she accepted it, but then didn't like it anymore. Didn't like the wording, didn't like anything he said. And she was like, I'm an empowered, beautiful, sexy woman. That's fine. But respect your relationship. And if you can't, goodbye. But what sucks is the fact that she couldn't handle that. It's disgusting to me.
This generation.
That's why it sounds
at least
weird.
If you talk about it anonymously, I can respect it.
It sounds
because
weird.
you're just talking about your experience without fucking putting a whole social media thing on it.
That makes sense. If she would have talked about her experiences and not mentioning it was with a high celebrity, just mentioning that, hey, I had a relationship, blah, 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 blah. I want people to learn from my blah, blah, blah relationship and how it went. That's respectable in the best way possible. What I don't like is how people immediately take up arms and then they don't respect themselves by letting this information be anonymous. You disrespect it by throwing out so much public information and letting the world know your business, letting the world know the other person like you really cared. Disgusting.
But you had to be vindictive and a little bitch about it and make a whole public story because he wasn't that great of a boyfriend. That's what it really came down to. He didn't tell you hold hostage. He didn't threaten you with violence. He didn't say you're a dumb. He didn't say none of that. He said, listen, these are my boundaries. Or maybe you can think they're unreasonable, whatever. But to air it out, I think, is what is the worst thing. Because now you're just bringing a media storm on somebody just because they weren't the best boyfriend to you. Keep it pushing. I could pull any of you motherfuckers' relationship conversations, and I promise you, if I isolated those texts and got your significant other to say that shit's manipulative on social media, you would look like a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Every text message conversation, you take little snippets like this right there and there, I can make anybody look like. Unless a text conversation, we murdering or something crazy, anybody could look crazy. But anyways, I think that's most of my thoughts on this whole matter. I don't think it needs for us to go any longer. Anything you want to say?
This comes out right after the Keke Palmer thing when I'm like, why this shit public, though?
Yo.
You guys love to put that shit public. God, though,
Y'all messy for no reason.
Hollywood likes to put that shit public.
Yeah. This is actually something we got to fight against more and more. We need to start shaming people for making things public that have no business being public. I think that's what we need to normalize.
Doing. One last thing, Jonah Hill made a lovely documentary about therapy, and it's a shame to see him weaponizing what he learned to attempt to manipulate his girlfriend.
How is he weaponizing what he learned? He's not. He's not weaponizing anything. He used proper, respectful language. He let his boundary be known, what he can and can't not take. And what he could take, he'll let her know in person. But she agreed to that. Now, you can sit there and say he's wrong for it. Personal problems, and that's your opinion. But straight up, she's an asshole for leaking this and putting it out there. And the fact that this guy sitting here is a psychiatrist or a therapist or whatever the fuck, he's a dickhead therapist. He's a dickhead. He's a fucking asshole. And the fact that he's looking at it and be like, oh, Jonah Hill's bad for this. Man, get off his dick, pussy.
That sucks.
It's actually kind of fucking disgusting that you got therapists up here just yipping and yapping like their opinions are really solid on this matter when it's just like you could Google these definitions. This guy's just making shit up. And that's what shows you. That's why you need to go see 10 therapists before you find the right one, because a lot of these people are just fucking quacks. They're just quacks, and you can see it right here. Honestly, I'm all for people going to therapy and getting mental health, but honestly, this whole mental health age, I really hate it. I hate the lingo. I hate the people who use it all the time. I hate the way therapists be up online just saying a bunch of random bullshit. Unsubstantiated opinions, and they use their authority as a profession as if it's solid. Just get the fuck out of here. Anything else you want to say?
Nah, I really thought it was something.
Right. This whole thing is actually kind of sick. I'm seeing all kinds of stupid fucking posts from people being like, oh my God, autonomy. What? Maybe I just don't understand what it means to be in a relationship anymore. Look at this one. Look at this one. Demanding control over your partner's autonomy is not having boundaries.
What?
Shut that shit off.
Can I just ask, is it ever acceptable to say in a relationship, I'm not okay with my partner doing certain things?
It is okay in a relationship to say that. It is. It should be. That's why we get in relationships to understand each other in a relationship. Me and the other person. You get into relationships to learn about what you like about each other and what you don't like together, and what makes you feel some type of, yes, uncomfortability. But that's supposed to be respectful. The fact that ABBA is saying this is like, are we just looking at this and saying like, we're fucked up here? Like, can we not talk about things that make us uncomfortable or things that we don't like in relationships? Are we not supposed to do that? No, we're supposed to do that. That's what we're fucking here on this earth. We're supposed to learn trial and error through every type of relationship, through every type of problem, job, through every type of thing, building, creating, fucking things up. We're supposed to grow and learn and build and pass on that info. The fact that people are saying that this is wrong and telling someone what they can and can't do, well, nigga, your parents are telling you what you could and can't do a long time ago, and they were beating your ass for it when you didn't listen. So get the fuck out of here. I feel like motherfuckers just don't understand, but that's the thing, they don't understand because they're trying not to, because they're trying to separate themselves, because everyone is into their own ego. Your ego and your id is the biggest part of you, and that is creating a substantial ground that you stand on. I'm about ego and self. That's fine. But when you can't be selfish at any point in your life, you have failed the journey of a relationship. You couldn't give up. You couldn't cooperate. You couldn't give just a little bit. That sucks. And I'm also learning that after my own relationships. I couldn't give, I couldn't cooperate, but I did. And she hated me for doing the bare minimum of that giving and taking type of aspect. And every time I gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, I couldn't get anything back. It was just annoying. Let's continue.
I'm not okay with my partner talking to exes. I'm not okay with my partner flirting with people. I'm not okay with my partner. Is that ever okay?
It should be okay.
But anyways, that's all.
I believe Abba and Preach really hit it on the head, and Abba said it. Like, can we talk about it? Like, come on. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I honestly believe Jonah Hill's in the right, and there's no problem here. Well, why? There's 2 more videos to watch from another YouTuber. I respect this dude. I love his content. So let me know what you think in the comments below. This is your boy Fat Man DD1. Remember to like, bitch, be notified. From me to you, remember to never give up, never surrender, keep on grinding. Mad fucking love, peace, and we out of here. Fucking femcells out here just being disrespectful. Oh my god. Shout out Sneeko for that one. The femcells is crazy.
Shit. Getting been on drum. You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill. Some of you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
I ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas falling like all them niggas. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous. Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden.